Today, in a historic month for our continent, so many of the Europeans they're gonna celebrate Columbus Day, which is the next 12 this month is gonna be centuries since European came invaded this continent and they massacred thousands, hundreds of indigenous people in this continent, which is all European now. They call it Columbus Day or Hispanic Day. But for us as a Native American, as different diversity, as Aztecas, Mayas, Incas, Cherokees, Nativos in this continent, I think for us it's a day for resistance to our people and to become to all our voice they can be heard in elections. But if we don't discuss different topics of democracy or human rights, that's why I'm going to talk a little bit about democracy, because democracy is been around centuries since the Europeans, since the Philadelphia Constitution was written here in United States. It's the democracy. But what is democracy out the United States? Not in United States. In United States, I think it is really working a system for people. And it is a paradise for so many people around the world that they come and live in United States. They find a place which is a great place to live for so many people around the world. But the democracy that the United States government of United States is providing to different countries that invading or killing other leaders, like in Africa, La Bumba, like in Iraq, Afghanistan, in other places, or like sanctions against any government in South America, which we see now today in Venezuela, economic sanctions in the name of democracy, of human rights. I think it's time. If the United States wants a democracy, they must provide the same system that they have in United States, economic, social, and not dividing people with different parties, different ideas, Democrats, Republicans, Socialists, and other third parties, which is we see like in Mexico, Central America, South America, every 4 years, there is too many candidates and parties to take over a country, to rule a country. But this democracy is a chaos for our people. And as we see, in the United States, there is no families that they have been in power generation and after generations, like we see in North Korea, like we see in United Arabs. They have all this type of governments, family governments that we call it, like England, Spanish, that they have family governments. So that thing, it must change if we really want a democracy, a law that comes from the people, a constituents. And that's the new idea for our people. But if we still asking and dividing in the name of democracy, I think the chaos and the war will continue in this planet, because without understanding, without analyzing all the system that we're struggling with and different problems. And And the democracy that the United States is providing is just for a couple of families in different countries, as we see in Mexico. The most richest person in our planet and humankind, which is Carlos Slim. But if we see so many people suffering, they have nothing in Mexico, Central America, South America, in Africa, Asia, and different parts of our continent, planet. So I always ask, in United States, why the richest man is not from any development country like European countries, like China, and like in United States. The richest man in our history lives and comes from the poorest and disastrous country in our time. And this is the kind of like short talks and different topics we can discuss about democracy, and which has been hurt a lot of families and has been hurt a lot of ethnics and different society. But we must analyze, if we really want the democracy, we must ask ourselves to start the same system that the United States has for his society, a diversity society in the United States today. So I'm going to leave this topic to you guys, and if you have a better idea about any democracy that really works out just like in the United States, so in different countries, if you think like democracy is the best way to do governments, I would like to know. But for me, today, democracy is in a hell of system that hurts so many countries in the name of democracy and the human rights.